Sarah Black.
Here.
Delia Contreras.
Here.
Steve Shoemaker.
Here.
Okay. Trust everybody's had a chance to review minutes. If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay. Appeals, no presenters.
We need a second.
Oh, sorry. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Too big of a right here. Claims or water?
Or water adjustments.
Okay.
A second.
Delia.
Thank you.
Don't have any department heads here. Steve, you have anything?
Just what's on the agenda.
Okay. Amy, I suppose.
Well, let me rephrase that. I did talk to Bill Bradbury. I did talk to Keith. Again, we're going to talk and meet with Neil about the parking amendment to the limited parking ordinance for in front of the school. So it may be something what we do in two amendments, but we'll be hopefully getting that meeting done maybe this week or next, and then we'll write that up and get it to council. We're looking at maybe expanding the school's off-street parking right there in that vacant lot where the house burnt down, going out to Plum, and then doing away with all parking on what would be the south side of Walnut where it turns and the east side of Walnut. So,
Okay. Okay. Just in time.
I figured I saw that on there.
You
I
have
was trying to
a,
get down here.
that's all right.
Are you talking about Saratoga?
No, I'm just talking about just if you have any other reports, anything.
Oh, no, I'm just
Second.
trying to find my way.
Okay. What, something changed or?
Do you have an extra pen?
It's all good.
Do you have an extra pen?
Okay,
Yes.
so that's it.
No, here's one.
I'll just bring that later.
it's on the agenda.
What is?
So, Saratoga.
I was talking about the other. I talked to Chad about that.
Okay.
I'd rather wait until the next meeting and bring in numbers.
Yeah.
Just that.
Okay, old business, Saratoga Fire Department.
Yeah, we never really decided exactly what to do. That date's creeping up on us, so I really think the general consensus and conversation after our last couple meetings was just making sure that they have some type of liability policy to cover any damages to the infrastructure. And I've talked to them about that. So from the Board of Works perspective, unless there's something else that needs to be discussed, I think that's the most prudent thing to do.
Did they provide any sort of insurance?
Not yet, they have not, but that's something I think the Board of Works needs to make sure is in place before the end of the year.
So, will they get trained on,
Well, in
What's-
theory, they are trained.
I mean, 'cause they didn't Brad talk about how it's kind of touchy?
It
on some of
is
those?
aging infrastructure. That is what I would be concerned with as well.
I feel like the attorney needs to figure out some sort of use contract for the hydrants, because if we don't, we're just going to say they broke it. They're going to say no, we didn't. So, and then there's not going to be anything in writing on who's actually going to be responsible when there's damage done, because they're going to say it's the infrastructure, and we're going to say no, it's because you slammed the hydrant shut. So I feel like we need to have it clear, black and white. If they're going to come over here and use it, I don't have a mutual aid contract with them, to my knowledge.
So, you know.
So usually the mutual aid contract covers who's liable for what. And it's typically wrote up in a fashion that if it happens, I mean, like if the Indiana side, like when we had mutual aid, if the Indiana side came to Ohio and damaged our stuff, it just, the cost of doing business. But their priority was to fill their trucks in Indiana. It wasn't like they were just driving to Ohio to fill their engines up. That's exactly what's going to happen with them, is they're going to come here because they're going to be outside of town fighting fires, and they're not going to have any. I mean, that's where their water supply is here.
Right.
So I think there needs to be a contract for the use of, that's property of Union City. It's not their property. They shouldn't just, it's a catch-22 because something's on fire and they need water. So we have to understand that, but we're in a catch-22 of who's going to be responsible if something happens on their fire when they come in here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a monetary as far as charging them anything for the water usage, but just that.
Right, who's going to be responsible? A mutual aid contract typically is like, oh, well, if you damage our stuff, we'll figure it out. You know, vice versa, when the Ohio State came over here, if you damage our stuff, we'll figure it out. But that's not the case here. They're going to be the primary, well, they're really not.
No,
Because we're now attached to every one of their first alarms. So
Right.
I'm hoping that we can get something ironed out, but this week. But it's just not a good setup. You can't get in a position to tell them no, because that's not what's right. But we can't be in a position to pay for the damage they're going to cause either.
Now, question for you. In the practical usage, especially since we're going to get the calls on those anyway, can we formulate a scenario where we can have our trained staff more available, or at least focus on trying to be available for when they're going to connect?
It sounds good, but
That's-
when we're going to be on their first alarm and we're going to bring 4 times more people than what they're going to bring on the first alarm, we're going to be at the structure.
Yeah.
And not to mention.
And typically, the way it's set up, someone else coming in second or third would be catching a hydrant, versus we're going to be first all the time.
Right.
So we're always going to be on the scene. And to put it on a weight, like we have to go fight the fire. Not
Well, and
I get what you're saying, though. Yes, it would be nice. But even if our guys damage it, fighting their fire,
yeah, it's still there.
That's why I wanted it all talked out in public. So, I mean, this is, in theory, yes, we could ensure, in theory, that our personnel's on the hydrant, but that's not realistic, and this is what I told Chief Martin. It's just not realistic. We're running 3 times the number of calls that they are. We never know how many personnel we have readily available at any given moment because of EMS. There's just no way to ensure that.
Mm-hmm.
and the bottom line is we're going to beat them to their fires.
Yeah, and they know
Right.
that.
So
Yeah.
I mean, in my conversation with him last week, they know that that's going to happen.
Well, yeah, and just the logic of the fact that we're, a full-time, full-staff department as opposed to a
Correct.
secondary part-time department, we're always going to beat them.
this is a lot deeper conversation. I don't know what took place at the trustees meeting. Obviously, it didn't shake out to where they wanted to sign a contract with us for whatever reason. I think we have to still investigate that, because at the end of the day, it's not about the fire hydrants or what's going to get damaged. The end of the day is it's what's right for the people that live out there, and what's right is not having Ward Township come into Jackson, not Ward, yeah, Ward. Yes. Ward Township, it's not right to have them come to Union City to fight a fire. Whether they're our citizens or not, their houses are going to burn to the ground waiting for that to happen. And that's,
Well, yeah, if they're waiting for them, then you just also have the question then also, another deeper question too, is that, okay, how does that have an adverse effect on the people of Ward Township? If they're,
Sure.
I mean, yes, events are infrequent, but we all know how things inevitably happen. You have an event in one place, you have an event in another place. What happens when they have an event in Ward at the same time as one in Jackson?
Right.
And if the event in Ward's first, they're gonna be there. But if the event in Jackson's first, they may be on the scene, so then somebody else.
It's just a battle that's going to have to be. It shouldn't be a battle. I don't know what took place. I would like to dig a little deeper into how the decision was made, and I would like to have conversation with Jackson Township, because at the end of the day, I don't personally care about the fire hydrant. I don't care about the infrastructure. I do, but to
it's,
put it on a scale, it's way these people's property, and God forbid someone be in a house, like that's what's important. It isn't about $2,000 or $3,000.
it's about, and to us, it's the only thing we have any control over.
Right.
It's about the only reason
But
why it's addressed.
right, we have to protect ourselves too
Right.
from damages.
Yeah.
I just think it's a conversation that needs to be further investigated, because we have to do what's right for the citizen, not the politics of the subject.
Well, that being said, so do you want to reach out to the attorney about that? Is that what
Yeah, I
conclusion
can.
we should?
I probably need to reach out to him and, I guess, figure out what expectation he has for us moving forward.
As far as Chief Martin,
Mm-hmm.
I provided your contact information to him last Wednesday, I believe, in a phone conversation.
I haven't heard anything. It would be nice to know what their expectation is, for one.
I agree. That's what I explained to him, because we hadn't heard anything from him to date. So
And we don't have mutual aid contracts. I'm not real comfortable, and we'll do what we have to do, but we need to have paperwork in place. I'm not going to never say no to someone, but this is 2025. There needs to be some sort of contracts in place so we have a clear understanding going in, who's responsible for what and who does what. I mean, that blows my mind that it's not there.
you know, this is a expanded conversation, just because we know that they've also reached out to the county for funding to provide this service, because they don't have the right equipment to do it. So that makes it an even more complicated conversation.
Well, I think it's a whole new whole nother can of worms, but it also kind of exemplifies where we really need to be headed in terms of unified service across the board,
Well, I mean,
across the county.
in Ohio, law enforcement wise, the mutual aid contract that we have covers like to Springfield, Ohio and west. I mean, it's there for, every department is involved in it. Dark County's the same way. All the fire chiefs sat down. Have you seen a mutual aid contract for Indiana for fire service?
I don't think so.
Are you familiar with one? So I don't even know how we're doing this. It's 2025. It's not 1980 anymore. We can't. I mean, we're not bringing a horse and buggy with some water. We've got, all of us have millions of dollars worth of equipment that could very well be damaged in no time. We have to be able to protect ourselves. I mean, how are you stewarding taxpayers' money if you're not doing that? So that needs to be addressed, probably countywide, in my opinion. It's always,
Good luck with that.
it's always, of course, when they call, we're not going to not go.
Right, yeah.
But I'd venture to say that I'm going to have questions asked, and I'm going to have to
that's
figure
not
out.
the time where the questions have to be
Right,
asked.
but they're going to be after the fact, and I'm going to have to come up with some answers on
Right.
who's responsible for what.
Right.
I don't know that throwing my arms at me like I don't know is probably a legitimate answer to anyone.
Right.
We're funded by the community. We have to do what's responsible. What that looks like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we need to have, at least with Ward Township, a clear contract for mutual aid. And it needs to spell out who's responsible for what. I'll figure out the rest of the county later, I guess.
Anybody else have any input?
No, that makes sense.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
I don't have anything else, I don't think.
While Lance coming in, I didn't know if you had anything or not. Okay. All right. Well, that's really the only business we have, I guess. So, if no other questions or comments, have any questions with visitors? Okay.
I do have a question, procedural wise. The current city handbook that we use,
Are you talking me?
yes, yeah, employee handbook.
She didn't have any voice.
I know you can't yell at anyone, right?
I can throw.
Throw stuff.
You can tell me and I'll yell at you.
I guess procedural wise, if there needs to be some proposed changes to that book, where do we start?
I would say,
Do you want me to use Chat GPT?
Well, I mean, sure.
You can use that. You can use that to answer, right?
ideas.
starting point.
I mean, if they've got something,
Yeah.
I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I mean, if you have ideas, let us have it and let us look it over. And
Yeah, we probably need to.
like I said, I don't
I mean,
want to
I think he's asking, where does he start? Does he start
the way
here?
it's
Does he
done
start?
in previous years, when we make an amendment to that, is it's.
You just discreetly said it's how we always done it. Go ahead.
Correct. But it comes before the Board of Works, then it goes to the council.
Like a
as
recommendation.
As a recommendation from the Board of Works.
But that being said, I would like to run it past our HR gurus that know the ins and outs of Indiana.
Are they the ones that wrote the current
Yeah.
book?
New
Yeah.
Focus HR.
I don't
is
know
the
if they wrote it
company.
completely or if they just kind of took what the old was and then,
So maybe we need to meet with them. Or do you want me to bring something forward and then you show them?
well, yeah. I mean, if we meet with them first, all the meetings will cost. So I mean, if we can try to brainstorm
And then just give it to them?
what changes need to be done,
Okay.
Yeah.
then run it by them and try to, I'm just trying to look at the bottom dollar.
Right.
So, yeah, we know there's changes that have to be done.
It's
But
really in a bad spot right now. It's very much based for a 40-hour a week. I can't even say 40-hour a week. A 9 to 5, 8-hour a day, or Monday through Friday worker.
It doesn't fit the scenarios of your departments.
yeah.
Well,
They work close.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And the problem I have is because it's so wide open and doesn't really, the dots don't connect, I don't feel real comfortable submitting payroll the way that we do currently.
okay.
It's bad.
I'm just wondering, I mean, how do other cities do it? Do they have separate? I
No.
mean, to me, they don't.
No.
So we would just have to
It's-
carve out the whole.
Right. And it's based on hours. I think where the problem lies in the policy book is it says days.
Yeah.
My day is different than your day, who's different than his day and his day. And then you go over to the fire department and their day is completely different.
than it, yeah.
So to use the word days, it's just a very unclear, what does a day mean?
Yeah, I would agree.
And I guess the other problem I have is because my days, I'm not a good example, his day's 12 hours and the fire department's 24 hours, when they get a vacation day, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's always been a step.
And looking at further, the sick is in
It's
time and day.
It's written both ways.
It says X amount of hours per year, no, X maximum of,
It's a half a day per month accrual for
a maximum of X
48
amount of
hours.
hours. So I don't even know how, because of the way it's lined up, it's just bad. It's really bad. So I don't know if we can look at some sort of accrual of X amount of hours per pay period, that should be, I would venture to say, to make it legal, the same whether you're a fireman or you're a street department worker or you're working the all, like it needs to be, how do you give someone more time than the other?
Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna speculate that we're not largely different than what other communities with the same departments are in terms of the hour scenario and the difference between police, fire, municipal,
In theory,
everything.
those are pretty consistent across.
So
Every
there should be a model, I would
Right.
think.
And everyone,
So it shouldn't
there's
be-
just going to be an explosion, is all I'm going to tell you, because what they're getting paid now versus what it probably should look like are going to be two very different things.
So we need to speed this up.
We need to address it quickly,
Okay.
yes.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy, there's one of the HR reps is kind of local, she lives in Richmond,
Okay.
and then Kristen, she's farther away, but I'm gonna email both of them and copy you and tell them,
I very much
Something
have
to come in.
prepared over the last week something to bring forward to them to look at. So,
okay.
And is that supported by other?
I pulled
Departments and-
from
yeah.
3 different ones in Indiana and pulled 2 different ones because I was really unclear on what it really looks like.
Yeah,
And
that's probably a good
It's-
starting point.
just days is a bad verbiage to use.
Right.
If that's a
Yeah,
verb.
days are a problem. Well, just,
Well, it doesn't make sense that because I work a 24-hour shift, I get 3 more times sick leave than you get for being a Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I mean, it just do the math. It's not equitable across the board.
yeah.
You know, I really had a struggle turning them in.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I can bring things to the table. I think we just need to look at what the accrual looks like versus, and the other issue too that I would like to look at is the vacation. It really puts us in a bad spot because of the way the vacation time is, you just get it at the beginning of the year. And if you don't use it, you lose it at the end of the year. That's probably okay for Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. It doesn't work with the shift work. Because what happens is people are responsible with their time, and then you never know if they don't have a planned vacation. Then we get to December, and I've got 6 people off because, and how do you tell them no? When then I'm going to force them to lose their time.
Yeah, and like, say the street department can deal with, and if 2 or 3 guys take off in December, about the only thing we have to worry about is plowing snow,
Right.
or something catastrophic.
Right.
More-
But
most
if
of the
it were to
time.
happen,
But otherwise, their workloads usually diminish some anyway, as far as their regular daily, because of what they can't do. Your workload doesn't change, right?
Right.
Your workload's always there, makes actually maybe a little
Maybe
higher.
worse, yeah.
Worse, yeah.
but
If you want to talk
we've got to
about
figure
that.
out a balance of not. I can understand restricting it and topping it out at a certain point, so that if someone leaves, we're not like, well, here's your bazillion hours of vacation time that you saved. I think there needs to be limits on it. On the Ohio side, we have the option to get paid out 40 hours, and we can roll 40 hours over. So there's 80 hours that we can more or less not lose, but it maxes out how much you can roll and how much you can get paid. It just puts us in a bad spot across the board, fire and police, to force people to take vacation time.
Well, I guess, and that's the question I have there is that would we be better off to have a buyout, on that, a pay buyout, as opposed to rolling it and accumulating it and dealing with that?
Yeah.
Because one of the things you have there is if let's say in theory you save up, Lance says, I'm not taking any vacations, and next thing you know, he's got 100 days of vacation accumulated from over the years. Well, but those first vacation days were based on this pay rate, but now his pay rate's here.
Right, you'd be
Or how
silly
are we
not to
paying,
wait it out.
How are
right?
we paying out that vacation? He's by saving those. I guess he's banked his money for a while, but we end up paying quite a bit more because now he's making $6 an hour more than he was such and such date. So
we have a maximum in Ohio. I have a maximum of 80.
yeah.
You can only roll 40 and only get paid out 40. So if you have 80 left over, now say I had 60 and I chose I wanted to roll 40 and get paid 20,
Yeah.
it's still the same. Or I
Right.
can get paid 40 and roll 20. I think it's not gonna be like the flat numbers every year, but at least
Right,
you're
yeah. It's going to be an odd.
but you're not like rolling and rolling and rolling. I think there has to be some limits on it.
Yeah.
How many you can actually hold in the bank.
We've discussed this before at the council level. Nothing was ever decided, but I will tell you that the council seemed to be in favor of addressing it and doing something. So I don't think that's a conversation that'll be hard to have.
I guess we just have to figure out, like Ohio, I can't really, I'm only gonna be able to roll 40 more than what I've been given. So if I've been given 80, I'm gonna stop at 120. I can't take my 120 and then, like, you're still only gonna be able to roll 40. So I have to take some of my time off.
Right.
So having the limits doesn't allow
Or
you
lose
just to
it.
have it, right.
At that point, you'd lose it if you
Right.
didn't take it. Right.
Yeah, if I don't roll, if there's excess from my rolling over and my paying
Then you
out,
don't take it.
it is what it is.
You're going to take it or lose it.
And it is possible too, there are some companies that say only so many people can be off. Like,
Right.
if you put, if there are 3 people that want off, whoever put it in first.
Right. Yeah, we have to jump through that every December,
Yeah.
which it sucks because,
Probably
like I
is a
said,
conversation to have.
they're being halfway responsible because you never know, life happens,
Right.
and they don't
We may
want to
be
go
able to take
without.
some of that tension off at that
Yeah.
point by doing something like
Right.
this.
I worked the entire month of December last year, like an entire full rotation on the road, so that
Because you
people
didn't
can have
because you
time
had-
off.
yeah.
I did not.
You
I took the entire month off.
right, but
So it's your fault he worked.
yeah, but my pay comes from Ohio,
Right.
and the other piece, and I know this might really get difficult, so I don't know that I'm going to at least present it, is that we base it on anniversary date. So I know it can become difficult to track, but my anniversary is in March. His anniversary is in June. I need to burn my time up before March. He needs to build his time up before June, or burn it off before June, versus everyone in the organization
At
trying
the
to
end of
get
the
rid
year.
of it in December. So,
Okay, so I don't think that's 100%. I'm thinking
Only the first year.
the
is
first
based on
year
the
it's on the anniversary.
but every year after that.
It's
Yeah.
from January 1st.
Right.
I think it goes.
And it just, like I said, now we're all, the entire department is in December trying to figure out their time. Now, if we were all to get hired, I guess at the same time, it wouldn't work, but I know most of my guys are staggered 1 or 2 months, so that we're not all at the end of the month, end of December, trying to get the same days off. Because we can't do it. I mean, we just can't do it. We can't have that many people off.
Well, I think it makes sense to address, I know time's a factor here, but it makes sense to address both these problems at the same time.
I've got some stuff
Get it done.
done up, and I'll just send it over to you.
Yeah,
And then-
one of the problems I foresee with rolling the time, which, I mean, in the best case scenario, I think that would be the best, but I don't know for sure how that is gonna work budget-wise.
Right.
Yeah, that's what,
That's where I think it's gonna hit the stumbling blocks right
Right.
there.
which is probably why it's been a use it or lose it system.
Right.
It's
And
sim-
especially
simplistic on the budget side.
starting out, if we did it like that, would be an issue for the budget. Once it got rolling, I think we would be fine.
Yes and no. I mean, I can see where it could get
Right.
abused. I mean, like I said.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
It could get wild.
it could get nasty.
But at the end of the day, we're paying them out whether they're, either taking it off or
Yeah.
paying them out, It's still, that amount will be, it's the rolling over will cause
Yeah, yeah.
the imbalance on the other end.
Well, and the other thing that I always look at with that is if you, say, make a comparison against street and water and everything, generally, they don't have to, nobody's working overtime because somebody else is off. But in the case of your departments,
We have to.
you have to man, you have to man a certain number of people, a certain number of hours. You're precluded to doing that for that coverage. So we can have overtime issues because of vacations, and anything we can do to minimize that is a cost savings.
It would cost less to pay it out than pay somebody.
Then pay somebody time
Because
and a
then
half to
you're
work
paying
it.
two people.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I don't have, like I say, if it's budgeted, paying out is probably the simplest thing in terms of, it's obviously costs more than losing it, but at least you know what it is. You can tell on January 1st, you're gonna know, if there's no personnel changes, you're gonna know the first of the year what's gonna happen at the end of the year.
Yeah, we're trying to fix that too. Personnel change.
Oh, yeah. And we know that's always going to be an issue. There's always going to be turnover. We minimize it; it's always there. But
People start looking at a yearly salary, I bet they'd be a little surprised that they actually make. That's all I'll say.
okay, well, we know everything we need to know then to move forward. Steve, you satisfied with that? Okay.
I do have one more question. Sick time, if someone's off in a 12-month period, more than 12 weeks, where does that put them?
I'll have to look.
Because FMLA should be up to 12 weeks in a 12-month period. So if someone's at like 20 weeks, for the organization, I think we have to act.
Yeah.
It's always just been up to the department head to pull the trigger.
Are they on FMLA? Was it approved or anything?
I don't know.
Okay, because that can play a big, FMLA throws a big wrench into it. We have to be very careful if they're on that, make sure all the.
The only FMLA paperwork I'm aware of is the two that we've just filled out in the last 10 days.
And I don't know if were there any early in the year?
Not to my knowledge. I
I
can't
know we
verify
passed out
that,
paperwork, but I don't know
not to
whether
my
anything
knowledge.
ever went through or not. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Do
Next
we-
board works.
Yeah, do we need a second?
Didn't need very much stuff.
I
That's
don't.
the one.
You don't have a second meeting in December. I don't. Or the
For the 22nd.
22nd, but I think we talked about council not meeting on that date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what we are calling it.
What's that?
We are doing the 22nd.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a Colts game. So,
I'm good without meeting this body as long as if we need to get the contract approved or anything like that, this body approves it so we can get it to council for the 22nd at a
Okay.
minimum, so the mayor can get it
so we're
signed.
subject to a special meeting.
I mean, that's the only thing that I see a potential for needing to discuss is
Okay.
if we have something
That
ready to sign.
doesn't matter to me, like I say. If we want to. But you don't, yeah, you don't have it on here for,
No.
on here at all at this point, so. Okay. Next Board of Works meeting, Monday, January 12th at 1:45 PM, 2026.
That's the next meeting?
Yes, unless we,
Unless we have to have a special meeting for
Unless we have-
end of December.
And if, for like the contract,
yeah.
maybe I can bring all the rest of that stuff. Holidays really put a
Put joy in the air, is what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Sure does.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.